And for more on this story from a U.S. perspective, we're pleased to welcome Florida Congressman Mike Waltz. We appreciate you taking the time, Congressman. Thanks so much.
No, happy to be with you. Thanks so much.
Wonderful. All right, let's get right to it. You've been an outspoken critic of the Biden administration's Russia policy. So tell me your top line thoughts about this move today by the Kremlin to take those troops out. Is this a good move?
Well, I'm thankful that Russia is backing down for now, but I don't think this is going to be the last of what you see from Putin in the Ukraine. By all accounts, I think this had to do more with what's going on in Russia domestically with its struggling economy and its struggling response to coronavirus and a growing opposition. I think it had very little to do with the Biden administration. We have to remember that Russia first invaded both Crimea and eastern Ukraine under the Obama administration. And what did the administration do in response? They provided the Ukrainians blankets and some food. Thankfully, the Trump administration, despite all of the rhetoric in Washington about Russia, the Trump administration actually took tough action and gave the Ukrainian army missiles and training to stand up to the Russians. If they didn't have that today, I think you would have seen a much stronger response from the Russian military. And then the other piece, if you look at Putin's speech that he gave yesterday, he talked a lot about his nuclear modernization. They have new nuclear-armed torpedoes that can take out our ports, hypersonic glide vehicles that can defeat our missile defenses. And they've modernized about 80% of their nuclear arsenal. We haven't started on any of ours, and yet the Biden administration wants to cut the defense budget in what he just proposed. And Democrats in Congress want to completely eliminate our ICBMs and other portions. So I think it just shows where the Democrats' priorities are. Putin smells weakness in Washington right now, and I don't think this will be the last of what you see from him.
Okay, so you're giving us a stark warning about what we could anticipate to come from Russia, Putin, and then also the lack of preparedness from the current Biden administration. But I believe we've spoken before, Congressman, also about threats coming from China as well. Is that another concern that the Biden administration has that they might not be adequately prepared for? Again, concerns from the CCP and whether or not we can hold China accountable in regards to humanitarian issues, among other things.
Well, that's absolutely right. And just to stay on the issue of our nuclear arsenal and the need to modernize it, we still have our systems operating on 1970s technology. I kid you not. It should kind of scare everyone. Meanwhile, China is looking to quadruple its arsenal in the next 10 years. It's all the more that while the Democrats are spending literally trillions of dollars on social programs, they're looking to cut our defense budget. The Chinese Navy is larger than ours now. That's even worse because they can concentrate it in one ocean. Ours is spread all over the world. They are gobbling up portions of Central and South America, ports and electrical grids, mountain ranges for space satellites. And they are trying to eclipse us in space with their own GPS system and a manned station on the moon. So this is very serious, and I don't think the Biden administration is taking it seriously.
Yeah. Really quick for you, Congressman. We know that the 2022 Beijing Olympics obviously set to take place in China. What would you recommend the U.S. stances be, whether or not we would participate or not?
Well, I've introduced a resolution calling for the games to be boycotted, and I'm calling them the Genocide Olympics. If they aren't moved, we've asked the International Olympic Committee to move them so that our athletes can compete. But if they are not, we literally have slave labor, mass rape, mass abortions, sterilization campaign of the Uyghurs, stamping out freedom in Hong Kong, and the coronavirus that the Chinese government has covered up around the world. And all of these kind of woke corporations that want to boycott what's going on in Georgia based on a lie, yet they want to make billions in Beijing. Enough is enough, and I think America needs to take a stand.
Will the President Biden, ever send some sort of group to investigate the true origin of the virus? I'm not talking about sending delegations through the WHO. I'm talking about U.S. scientists going to see it for themselves, potentially even looking at that Wuhan lab.
Well, the Chinese won't let us in. They've completely covered it up. They've whitewashed what's going on. They won't share data, even with the WHO, which they basically control. So I don't see us ever getting to the bottom of it because the Chinese Communist Party knows ultimately they're responsible.
Wow, unbelievable. All right, Congressman Mike Waltz, always appreciate your foreign policy insight. It's truly insightful. Thank you so much, Congressman. Take care.
All right, thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.